Alright. Okay, today we're going to show you how to change front brake pads on a Hyundai Elantra 2005. Okay? So that's what we're going to, these are the tools that we're going to need. You're going to need a C-clamp, screwdriver, this type of wrench, maybe a hammer, and a 9/16 socket wrench. You're going to need a jack and a jack stand. All right, and of course your replacement brake pads. All right. First, you want to make sure that the car emergency brake is on, which I already did. Then you're going to put this, just for extra safety, both sides, and there's one on the other side. So let's get started. We'll get started by removing your lug nuts. These are your lug nuts right here. So let's do that and remove it. Just loosen it off. There. Okay, now that they're loose, use the jack and you're gonna position this over here. I'm gonna show you. You gotta come down on this part of the frame right here. Okay, so we're gonna put that right there and start raising it up with a jack. There we go. There. Now the car's gonna start going up. All right. You'll try to put this stand for extra support when it goes down a little bit. A little more. There. Put the stand right there. And I'm going to kind of like release this a little bit. There. So that the frame, the car rests on the jack stand and your jack is not bearing all the weight. All right, now we're going to take that off. Okay, take the lug nuts completely off. That out. Now we pull this out. The wheel is kind of stuck, probably from not being serviced for a while. So we take this out just for extra protection. Put that right there. Okay, let's work on that one. We'll start breaking some branches here so I can fit. Alright, now using the socket wrench, okay, there are two bolts that hold the caliper in place. This one right here. Okay. And there's another one on the bottom. Okay, that is parallel. You're going to see it down here. So we're going to remove both those bolts. Okay. Counterclockwise to remove the bolts. That's going to be a little hard, so I'm going to hammer it. Until it loosens off. There you go. That's loose. Okay, that's pretty loose. Now I got at the bottom this exact identical bolt here at the bottom. See if you can see it from here. Come down this way. I'm gonna put this here so you can see here. Can you see? That's, hold on. It's a little blurry. See where my hand is? There's another bolt there. There. That we're gonna remove too. Okay, so I'm gonna do that right now. Okay, same way I did the one on the top. Just hammer it a little bit until it loosens off. Tap it. There. Now it's loose. So we take that bolt out, those two bolts, okay? Then by hand, I can just do that. Now, the top is still a little tight, so I'm going to use my socket wrench again. Let me see if I can remove it by hand. There you go. So we loosen it by hand. Okay, so there goes the other bolt. All right. So now, this is your brake fluid hose, and it's very short. So you got to be careful not to tug on that and break it while you take the main caliper out. So we just kind of like shake this, wiggle it a little bit until it comes off. There, see, it's starting to come off. It came off. Make sure you don't pull this off or break this hose, okay? Because that's where your brake fluid goes into. So I'm just going to rest this up here without pulling the hose that I just showed you, okay? So now I'm going to go and get my replacement brake pads, which is this. I'm going to go here, take the old one out first. This. You might need the help of this. Wow, that's pretty easy. I don't even need this. Take the old one out. Okay. This one is your replacement. Put that in there. New brake pads. Just fit it in. And here in the back, the same thing. Take this one out. Okay. You'll see that it has this metal part right here. That goes to the back. Okay. That metal part right here is your wear detector. Once your brake pad starts wearing off, or wearing out, it gets thinner and thinner. And this one eventually starts hitting the rotor, and it starts making that squeaking sound before you go metal to metal. So when you start hearing that squeaking sound on your brakes, then it's time for you to replace the brakes. So that's what it's for. So we're going to put this here, same way we did with this. Just fit that in there. Okay? There. See? Now that's in place, okay? We take this caliper take the caliper, and first what you have to do is your caliper piston needs to go back in, because this one comes out this way. As your brake pad starts wearing out, the caliper starts pushing the piston out. So now with a new brake pad, the thickness is gonna be, this is not gonna go back in. So we have to use a C-clamp to push that back. So let's do that. Before you push the caliper piston in, make sure you go to the front and you just uncover, remove the lid to your brake fluid reservoir. Okay, so the pressure as you push the caliper piston back in kind of like releases. All right, and it doesn't build up. So very carefully, I'm just going to turn this around. See the best position where I can work on it. There. Put the C-clamp. So we can put that C-clamp, the caliper piston back in place. See how it's sticking out here? This ring needs to go back in, flush with the outside ring. Okay. All right, here we go. Make sure you're not clamping on the hose. All right, on the back. You be very careful not to break that hose. So I kind of like just carefully. Here we go. Watch this go back in as I clamp it. See? Now the piston is starting to go back in. There. You don't want to overdo it. Just see. Now make sure this is back in place for the brand new pads. Now see, it's flush, it's back in place. Okay, so we take this clamp out now that we did that. Like I said, be careful. You don't tug on the brake hose. Take this out, put down. Now this one will fit because we push that piston back in its place. So we're going to put the caliper back. Your brake pads are already in place, the new ones. So we put this back right here in place, making sure you don't tug on that hose. Okay, so you start putting the bolts back, one on the top, okay, and one on the bottom, as I already have shown you when I was removing it. Hand tight, best you can, hand tight. All right, and now tighten it to 90 pounds torque. Do the same thing at the bottom. Tighten it. Now that's tight. We put everything back. Put the tire back. Yeah, one more. Okay, good enough. Okay, move. The installation of the brake pads are done. We're gonna put the tire back. We lower everything down. We're gonna show we're gonna show that to you how it's done anyway. So let's go and get my tire. Put the tire back in place. There you go. And your hubcap. Match this area with this. There. Okay. Put one of these lug nuts. Just hand tight a little bit. There. One here on top. Just for them. That's good enough. Here. Okay, now use this wrench. Kind of like semi-tighten it to kind of like push the tire back in place. There we go. Before you lower it to the ground to tighten it more. Make sure the tire's not wiggling, or it's in there all right. Now we get to lower the jack. First I want to raise it up a little bit so I can remove my stand. Stand off. Now I lower this. Okay, and make sure you tighten up your lug nuts. There you go. And the installation is completed. Make sure you remove the blocks from the back. Car's ready to go. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel.